guys ever played this game with your friends? Hey, so how much money would it take you to do this crazy thing XYZ? And then they're like, I'm not going to do it. And then you're like, $1 million. And they're like, yeah, I'll do it for $1 million. 500,000. They're like, I know where this is going. Stop it. James, that's for you. Nerve is directed by Henry Joust and Ariel Schulman. They directed the last couple Paranormal Activity movies, and it stars Emma Roberts along with Dave Franco, and is the movie that I didn't really hear about until recently. I saw a couple trailers for it, and I thought it had like a brilliant idea. The basic premise is that it's truth or dare without truth, and instead of people just like, you know, daring their friends to do things, it's everybody that like is, you know, on their phones, they're all watching you, and they're the watchers, and then there's the people that do the dares. They're the players. So Emma Roberts and Dave Franco, they're the players, and they are doing all these crazy dares to win all this money. But then the thing that ends up happening is that the watchers keep betting the players to do more and more and more. The stakes keep getting higher and higher and higher, but the money keeps getting better and better and better. Next thing you know, things go crazy, things go haywire, and that's pretty much the whole movie. I don't want to spoil anything. But this is a really interesting plot that I never really thought of before. You know, obviously I've played that game with my friends, like, well, how much would you do for this amount of money? And like, truth or dare and things like that. But the way that it was put forth in this movie, it was like a really brilliant idea that I had never thought of. And it's a game that honestly I would kind of really be interested in playing, because money? But are you kidding me? To do that? Yeah, I'll do that. I'll do a lot of things for dares. But the movie has such a great concept, and the trailers pulled me in, and I'll say that I had a fun time watching this movie. Now, I don't think that it will please everybody. I think that it has such a great concept, but it is so much leaning towards the younger crowd. This is such a teenage movie with like a great idea, but I feel like if they would have like just upped up like the age of the characters a little bit and made it a little bit more mature, it really could have been a great movie because it has such a great premise. But they went for the more young teenage crowd, and it definitely has a young teenage feel to it. It has like a whole music video kind of thing going on, a lot of like pop music, and it's like, it's so aiming towards a specific crowd that I think that detracts from the movie, because it really could have been a you know, huge movie, I think. But, you know, they went for the crowd that they were going for, and the thing is, the movie has such an obnoxious idea that just keeps building upon itself that it gets to the point that it's so ridiculous that it is literally only for younger people, I feel like, where if they would have just made it, instead of like kids getting out of high school, if they would have made it like just kids getting out of college, so that they're a little bit older, so that things are a little bit more feasible, I think this could have been a better movie. But I still enjoyed watching it. And the thing is, it has some real suspense in there, and the characters, especially, you know, some of the characters are super cliche and super over the top, but I really feel like Emma Roberts and Dave Franco had really great chemistry and really worked well together, and I think that they're great actors, and they did a good job in this movie. They were very interesting to watch. Their characters pulled me in, and when they were doing these crazy dares, you were on the edge of your seat a little bit. You were pulled in, and I enjoyed watching them go throughout doing all these crazy dares. And even though they kept escalating, they were so ridiculous, they're still fun to watch. This is definitely an over-the-top kind of movie, but it's a fun, enjoyable movie if you let it. Like I said, if you go into this thing and then it's just, it starts off and it's super like teenagey, and then like when they start doing the dares, it so easily escalates to like craziness. I think that you can easily be pulled out of this movie just by how juvenile it is and just how like ridiculous it gets. But if you go along for a ride, I think that it could be a good time. I didn't really have too many big glaring problems, except for, you know, there's a lot of plot holes and a lot of things that just don't make sense as they go along. The story overcomplicates itself, I feel like, but it's such a ridiculous plot and ridiculous story that they're telling you kind of just go along with it. So I kind of didn't really care as much about like once you think about some of the things, you're like, yeah, that didn't make sense, that doesn't make sense. but I kind of let that slide because I had a good time with the ride of the movie. And I feel like a lot of people won't go along for the ride and they'll think it's just ridiculous and stupid and they'll end up hating the movie, and I completely understand that. But for me, I ended up enjoying it, and I think that if you go to check it out, that you could have a good time. I'm going to go 3.5 out of 5 for Nerve, and that's it. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this and you want to see more reviews from a guy like me, Tom Waterloo, then please like and share this video, leave a comment down below, and most importantly, subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next one.